This is your weekly trip to paradise, Louisiana style, with Gary Risponi. Paradise, Louisiana is also brought to you by Baton Rouge Coca-Cola Bottling Company, Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change, CCA Louisiana, and the CCA Louisiana Star Tournament, IMCO, and by Farm Bureau Insurance.
Welcome back to Paradise, Louisiana. Welcome back to Superior Bait and Tackle here on Singer Lane. Let me remind y'all, this is Thanksgiving week, and we're heading into Thanksgiving, and we got a lot to be thankful for. Maybe at the end of the show, I'll tell you some other things to be thankful. You know yourself, we're thankful to be alive right now and to getting through the pandemic, looking at recovering from all the hurricanes and storms, especially in Louisiana. We're doing a lot of praying, but right now, all our prayers are going to be of Thanksgiving. So, y'all get ready. Paradise, Louisiana, we back on the air. I hope y'all keep watching every week. If one of your friends told me you don't know where it's going, ask your friends. Go to Your View. It tells you where they're streaming. You go to yourviewlouisiana.com, and they'll tell you where they're streaming, wherever they're going. So you stay tuned. We're here at Superior Bait and Tackle. Naturally, we're going to be a little few surprises. We're going to be with Chaz again. This is the best time of the year to fishing in the marsh. Everybody's going. Kids are off for school during Thanksgiving. Looking into the holidays, just get ready. And to get geared up, come here to Superior Bait and Tackle. We'll be right back with more of Paradise, Louisiana.
For the thirsty, for those who hang out in packs, for heroes, for sidekicks, for those who see the glass half empty, for those who see it half full, for those on the right, for those on the left, for those with nicknames, for those with curves, for people that cycle, for people that recycle, for BFFs, for frenemies, for those with style, for lovers, for families, for big families, for everyone.
I've been asking him to change the oil for months now, and he never did. So I finally just went to Benny's. They even washed my car for free. And you know what? It was amazing. Yeah, I left Benny's and got home before Rob even knew I was gone.
Benny? Who the heck is Benny?
As members of a Touchstone Energy Cooperative, we've all got a job to do. And the more we work together, the more we save. That's the power of your co-op membership.
Demco, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
All right, guys, what we're going to be fishing with today is some of the new colors on Charlie's Cajun Caco. We just came out with 5 new colors. You're just going to thread it just like a matrix shad, very similar to a matrix shad. This bait's a little bit more durable, and this bait's got a rattle in the belly. That's what it looks like, and you can hear that rattle right there. That rattle gives it a little bit more noticeability for the fish, gets their attention a little bit better. We're using it on just a 1/4 ounce or a 5/16 ounce black platinum. And we're just making long casts. And get that bait out there, and we're just gonna swim it over to some grass flats in the Pontchartrain Basin. Go. All right, guys, just like the last few years, you get into that October month before it gets a little cold, these fish, they want eelgrass. They want a certain type of grass that most estuaries provide. Or if you can find like sunken islands and stuff that's got grass on top of it, that's what they want. That's what we're fishing today. And we're simply using, we added some new colors at Charlie's Cajun Cockahoe. This has got a rattle in it. This lure is super, super durable, a very tough plastic, and it swims very nice. This is a great little lure. We added 5 new colors to it just because we had a really good response from the salt and pepper one that we did. So we're breaking this out. The water's still pretty stained from Hurricane Ida. That rattle gives it a little extra noise in there to get the fish's attention, and let's put some fish in the boat. That's the type of grass that we're looking for right there. Naturally, you're gonna hook it sometimes. And if you're ever hooking it too much, you just throw a top water, something weedless, but I'm not hooking it too bad, just here and there. And then that way it tells me I'm on the right stuff, in the right area. That's the grass. It's right in the boat. As you can see, I'm just simply casting and reeling right over this grass. I'm not really jigging because I don't want that lure to fall down in the grass. When you're fishing this type of technique, I recommend like a longer rod, kind of like a 7-footer. The longer the rod, the more distance you can get out of it. And when you're on these shallow flats, as you can kind of see the boat rocking right now, making a little bit of noise, you want to be able to get that bait away from the boat as far as you can. And also, you might want to drop your line size down a little bit. That'll help out with some casting distance. And that's what we learned a lot in Florida when we're fishing these flats, is the distance is the key. Most of the time, the bites come in the first 5 to 10% of your retrieve. You know, right when it hits the water, those first couple cranks. You get it close to the boat, they can just hear the boat slap in the water. That's what makes wade fishing so effective in water depths like this, is that you know, you're virtually invisible. You know, they can't hear you, they can't see you. There he is. Nice fish here. This is a good one. This is a good one. Yeah, baby. Get on up in here. That's what we're talking about. Big, beautiful trout. Let's talk about the schoolies. One about 16, 17 inches. Let's get that boat. I wish I had a power pole right now, as we got a breeze blowing us around in here. That's what we're talking about. This is a glow with the chartreuse tail. And that is what we are looking for, guys. Little rascal. That one is not going to make the team. And what was he thinking? Trying to eat something half his size. But nevertheless, that's what you got to deal with right now in that October period, September, October. You're going to deal with a lot of school trout. But you got some nice ones mixed in. You just got to weed through them. That's pretty much the name of the game across Louisiana this time of year. Ooh, missed him right there. Missed him right there. Right at the boat. But there's so many different grass flat areas around the Pontchartrain Basin. The biggest grass flat It's going to be over there between Fontainebleau State Park and Mandeville, all the way back to Bayou Liberty. That is an excellent, excellent place to fish this time of year, especially on like a north wind. You got stuff around the Irish Bayou area that's got that eel grass. You got it by the cedar, little cedar and big cedar, and Pontchartrain. Just a lot of nice grass flats around. Lake Catherine's usually full of grass. Great early fall place to fish. Now the problem with this year is we still have some grass to fish, obviously. That's what we're catching them on today. But Ida took a lot of our grass, and that kind of hurts because that's the main thing these smaller trout are looking for in the this time of year is that grass. So when them hurricanes come through, which we seem to get every single year now, it just eats that grass up, and it gives us, you know, not as many options on where to find the fish and find the grass. But nevertheless, they're always somewhere. What I've been hearing lately is where they're really catching the fish, though, is in a deep water pass over there by Chalmette around Martellus Castle and the breakthrough in the rocks over there into the Mississauga. That's been the real hot spot. Big migration zone for the shrimp, and the fish have been ganging up in there. Also, Bayou Thomas. There he was. Bayou Thomas, same situation, same layout. Fish have been in there. That's a big falling tide spot. They're probably there right now. But I just really enjoy running these little swim baits over the shallow grass. It's a lot of fun. There he is. Another nice one. Another keeper. Another keeper. There we go. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Dockside TV. We're going to make it nice and short and sweet here. Using that got multiple new colors in Charlie's Cajun Cockahoe. Catching school trout in Lake Pontchartrain. If you want to get your hands on some of these new rattling cockahoes, Charlie's Cajun Cockahoe that's got a rattle in it, make sure to subscribe to our Matrix Bait Box. We'll be putting multiple colors out there. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check out all of our shallow flats videos. If you look at the published date, we usually shoot these around September, October, November. So, get your hands on some of these rattling cockahoes. And until next time, guys, good fishing.
For the thirsty, for those who hang out in packs, for heroes, for sidekicks, for those who see the glass half empty, for those who see it half full, for those on the right, for those on the left, for those with nicknames, for those with curves, for people that cycle, for people that recycle, for BFFs, for frenemies, for those with style, for lovers, for families, for big families, for everyone.
As members of a Touchstone Energy Cooperative, we've all got a job to do. And the more we work together, the more we save. That's the power of your co-op membership.
Demco, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
I've been asking him to change the oil for months now, and he never did. So I finally just went to Benny's. They even washed my car for free. And you know what? It was amazing. Yeah, I left Benny's and got home before Rob even knew I was gone.
Benny? Who the heck is Benny?
We put faith in our vehicles to connect us. We understand how important it is to have transportation you can rely on. So no matter what the road ahead brings, we'll be there, offering you and your family the support that's made Farm Bureau Insurance a trusted name for over 70 years. You deserve more. You deserve a promise.
Hey, welcome back to Paradise, Louisiana. We always talking about superior bait and tackle. Let me tell you what, while we out here and we're in the showroom and people are coming in, the work is done behind the scenes. So the guys back here on the table fixing reels and fixing rods. So we're gonna do a little walkthrough and see some of these guys working in the back. Let me tell you what, not only Thanksgiving we got a lot to be thankful for, be sure to make your trip over here before Christmas. They got all kind of, they got stocking stuffers, they got all the big prizes you want to get. You want to get a new rod and reel, or you want to get your wife or your husband a great gift for Christmas. You want to load up and bring your grandkids, you want to get them their first fishing rod, this is where to go. Superior Bait and Tackle on Seagan Lane.
This is Don Dubuque asking you to join me as a member of the Coastal Conservation Association. For 30 years, CCA has worked in Louisiana to conserve our incredible fisheries, making sure that our fishing is great today and for generations to come. Whether looking out for redfish and specks, eliminating gill nets, building reefs across the coast, or work at the state capitol and in D.C., CCA is doing what's best for the fish and the sport we love so much. Your $30 membership will ensure that this work and our great fishing endures well into the future. Go to ccalouisiana.com and join CCA today.
Grass, trees, vegetation, it's the fabric that holds our marshes here in South Louisiana together. For the longest time, saltwater intrusion came into our marshes, into our freshwater swamps, and killed off a lot of our vegetation. With that dying vegetation went the habitat for our fisheries and the habitat for our wildlife, and especially the habitat for our waterfowl. Now in certain parts of Louisiana, because of coastal restoration efforts and efforts to block the saltwater intrusion from coming in, a lot of that submerged vegetation is coming back, and in a lot of places cypress trees are coming back. And with that comes a diverse amount of wildlife, fish, plant life, the whole fabric of the coast being put back together. Nice little bass we got here, and we're catching them right here off the MRGO here in St. Bernard Parish. There's a whole lot of submerged vegetation in here, and not only is that submerged vegetation important for these fish, but for the food that they feed on too. This grass, even here in the wintertime, is full of shrimp. The other important thing though is keeping this vegetation alive. The reason this submerged vegetation has come back in this marsh is because the salinities have gone down. This morning, we caught speckled trout 100 yards the other direction. Now we're in the grass beds catching bass. A large component of coastal restoration projects like marsh creation and barrier island restoration is aggressive planting of vegetation to hold those projects together. But an even bigger part is the submerged grass that's come back and keeping the vegetation that's already in the marsh alive by eliminating a lot of the saltwater intrusion. Saltwater intrusion came into a lot of Louisiana marshes and killed off a lot of vegetation. Now some of that vegetation is coming back, and with it are coming the fish and the wildlife. It's almost unfair how fast these fish are biting. We're in the middle of January. This water's cold, but we're fishing the edge of that grass bed right there. This submerged vegetation has turned this into an incredible fishery. bass, speckled trout, redfish, flounder, drum, sheep's head, ducks, you name it, all here, all because of this submerged vegetation. In addition to being good habitat for fish and wildlife, submerged vegetation plays a key role in helping trap that sediment. That trapped sediment can settle to the bottom and help create new land. In addition to the grass that's on the land that helps hold the land together, the submerged vegetation plays a key role. It's habitat for juvenile fish, it's habitat for adult fish, but it also helps filter out a lot of sediment that could be coming out of diversions, that could be coming from wave action. It makes our water cleaner, it infuses oxygen into the system. Catching bass and redfish in the marsh in St. Bernard Parish, in the submerged vegetation, and now we're looking at trying to bring the cypress trees back in marsh very, very close. And the common factor is, let's limit the salinities. We can't have the submerged vegetation in that marsh that's so important as fish habitat without bringing the salinities down. We can't have cypress trees being replanted all across coastal Louisiana to rebuild that habitat without bringing the salinities down. And that's the common goal.
You have to come out here and test the soil, make sure the salinity levels are down enough to where that you give these cypress trees a chance to survive. If not, we've done projects with higher salinities in the soil, and it wasn't a good success. Out here, we're getting 80% or so survival rate. It's just unbelievable how much difference there is with this fresh water coming in to help bring new nutrients and replenish with all the stuff the plants have taken up.
We got the Carnarvon diversion right over here over my shoulder, and all of that water is keeping this area fresh. This would have been inundated with salt water 25, 30 years ago before Carnarvon opened. Now you've got good, fresh, healthy marsh in here, and you've got the nutrients coming out of the Mississippi River, and these trees and all of this wetland is absorbing that. And now you can come back out here and have the cypress forest that you'd have had at one time, but that died off because of the saltwater intrusion.
So right now we're probably up to a little over 40,000 cypress trees that we've planted out here. This is to help bring back cypress hardwood forest that was here hundreds of years ago. 3 years ago, whenever we put these trees out, they were possibly, 3 foot, 4 foot tall. Now they're upwards to 8, 9, and 12 foot tall right now.
It covers the cypress trees. It protects them from the nutrients, so they don't eat the trees.
There's not many things that get me really excited, but it's been a year since I've been out here, and when I got out here to see how big these cypress trees have gotten, it really gave me a good shock. You can see with the growth of these cypress trees that we planted over 3 years ago. It's amazing how these things have taken off and really survived and thrived, and gives hope for the future of establishing more cypress tree forests back out here again.
So the vegetation is the key, not only to the fish habitat, but to our swamps and our marshes. We've got to have that vegetation to hold these swamps and these marshes together to protect our communities and protect our fisheries. Cypress trees, submerged vegetation in our marsh, all depends on limiting the salinities and getting these marshes and these swamps to grow back.
We put faith in our vehicles to connect us. We understand how important it is to have transportation you can rely on. So no matter what the road ahead brings, we'll be there, offering you and your family the support that's made Farm Bureau Insurance a trusted name for over 70 years. You deserve more. You deserve a promise.
This is Don Dubuque asking you to join me as a member of the Coastal Conservation Association. For 30 years, CCA has worked in Louisiana to conserve our incredible fisheries, making sure that our fishing is great today and for generations to come. Whether looking out for redfish and specks, eliminating gill nets, building reefs across the coast, or work at the state capitol and in D.C., CCA is doing what's best for the fish and the sport we love so much. Your $30 membership will ensure that this work and our great fishing endures well into the future. Go to ccalouisiana.com and join CCA today.
Welcome back to Paradise, Louisiana, Berkeley Ibu Garcia Fishing Report. I'm telling you right now, this is going to be a short report, and it's going to be a little bit late because we got a lot of hunting and we're getting out. We didn't have to sit. Sometimes we had to do these shows a little bit early to get them on air in time. So this fishing report is a long range. It's a few weeks back, but it should be accurate because I'm telling you right now, this time of year, always at Thanksgiving, Venice is hot. Venice is hot. Wherever you go down there, Venice is hot. Delacroix is good. Right now, all the captains and Lake Catherine, Island Marina, all the captains I talk to right now are catching fish, telling me to come down. The only thing's been holding them back is if we get a lot of wind, and then especially down in Delacroix, they get a north wind and the tides are low or normal. They've been running in on a few mud flats, so keep that in your mind. The Chapelizod Spillway, I told y'all last week that it was starting to fall again. I have no first-hand reports, but I'm telling you what, I will be in there sometime during these holidays, and my grandkids are off, whatever I can get a chance, whether I'm going with Don Hutchinson or somebody else that used to be in the Big Eye, I'll be in Henderson or I'll be in the Chapelizod Spillway at least 1 or 2 days next week or this week coming. So that is the fishing report. Saltwater is up. I don't know about offshore. I didn't get any. I still give you a little report on the marinas. Cocodrie has come by. I told you, Dulac is back. T. Herb is back. All the marinas in Slidell are back. All of them up down the coast. Venice is still going wide open. I still haven't got any reports from Cocodrie that are accurate or what. I do know at Grand Isle, they're working hard to get back. And Buggy and them, they've been going through a lot, but they got a lot of help. Coming up, too, right before Christmas, I got a little project I want. I got some people are buying these sea cans or these containers, they call them, and they're making them into camps. And how they got one company furnish them, and he's a good friend of mine. I'm going to bring him on the show before Christmas. And where illegal, some subdivisions or whatever got restrictions, you can't put them in. But on the coast right now, a lot of people going to them. They're not as expensive as you think they are. So, but that's it. That's for our fishing report. All I can tell you is happy Thanksgiving. We do have a lot to be thankful for, especially during this recovery. You know, a lot of things happen. We lost a lot of people. But God bless Louisiana. God has blessed Louisiana. Thank you, God.
Paradise, Louisiana is also brought to you by Baton Rouge Coca-Cola Bottling Company, Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change, CCA Louisiana, and the CCA Louisiana Star Tournament, IMCO, and by Farm Bureau Insurance.